The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Discretion is advised.
I'm just wimping out on that one.
That's better.
You
Mix
like
it
that
up a
better?
little. Yeah. Let's get right to it, dude.
You should have just said, no, I like the old one, and I would have...
No, I do like the old one better.
All right. Welcome to Reform Radio, Thursday night, here in the heart of... Where the fuck are we again?
You fucking know it by now.
I honestly don't.
Yes, you
Toluca
do.
Lake? Are we in Toluca Lake?
Kinda.
Tarzana.
North Hollywood. It's just North Hollywood.
But I feel like that this is a specific area that's not just North Hollywood.
No, dude.
Am I fuzzing out there?
Very loud. Keep up.
All right. Check. All right. Welcome to the program, Reform Radio. We have a packed house tonight. Very exciting.
I almost asked Frank not to come.
I
Like
almost
too
didn't
full.
come. It would've
Like
worked out.
ejaculate come or...
I said I almost didn't come, so it would have worked out. But yeah, there you go.
I bet you almost didn't come. We got into a little texting war earlier where I kept on...
Should I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
You can.
I don't want to.
Where I just kept accusing Frank of being a homosexual.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
I was more like outing him than accusing him.
Yeah, like it was more. I felt like it was more like helping him, like forcing him to face the truth and just it's okay, tough love.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was the other way around. I thought you were struggling with some inner issues there.
You can say that all you want, Frank, but
No.
don't try and flip it on me,
All right.
gay boy. Welcome to the program. We have a very, very lovely special guest with us tonight, Miss Heidi Van Tassell, a repeat customer here at Reform Radio.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're very excited to get into some stuff. And I think I texted you the other night. I'm a dick on text, huh?
Yeah.
Because
and in life.
And in life, too? It translates to
Yeah.
my real life?
Both.
Because I texted you and I was like, hey, we'd love to have you on to talk about
Shit?
real life shit instead of actual shit. Because we all know the story. If you're a fan of ours listening to us, you know her dilemma, so we don't need to get into that.
Yep. Yeah, we've been over it.
But
Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
there was one question that I regretted not asking, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no.
Would it have mattered if it was like Brad Pitt in a bucket?
Wow.
Have you been posed that question before?
No.
Or who is
Because
like,
I don't
the
know if
hottest
I
dude?
would mind either. Like I might be like cool with that.
Wow.
Who's the hottest dude to you?
Yeah, who do you find attractive? I know,
Present company excluded.
Yeah, exactly. You can't choose me.
You know who Mark Strong.
I don't even know who
Who
that
the fuck is that?
He's an actor. He's a British actor. I think he's hot.
Go to the
It's a
tape.
very
Frank.
strong name. Mark Strong.
He was in that movie where the kid becomes the superhero. Remember?
The Shazam?
Shazam?
Or
No.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That guy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, he wasn't. He's the
Remember
bad
the guy? Yeah.
He's the
what's that
kid
movie?
who becomes the nemesis. He's like the first
Yeah.
kid, and they.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
All right.
Cody Banks?
He's got a Midnight Oil vibe.
Okay, so if
Now I don't like him anymore.
No, I don't want to ruin it for you.
Okay, Brad-
so
Brad
Mark
Pitt.
Strong. Mark Strong. He approaches you. Same thing happens.
bucket of diarrhea on your head of Mark Strong.
It's Mark Strong though. Do you
Better?
react differently? Does it make it any better?
Or do you open your mouth wide?
Oh my
Fill me up, Mark.
Oh
Fill
my
me up.
God.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if we had dinner afterwards, maybe or something.
Or before,
Before.
so you knew what you were getting.
Just get vanilla ice cream for dinner. That's all I want.
Oh, that's horrible. I'm terrible. Terrible person to ask that question. But I did think
good
that. I'm like,
question.
after I left, I was like, there was a few questions I left unanswered, a few stones unturned.
I also had a question that I wanted to ask, and I didn't get to
Yes.
ask. Any relation to George Van Tassell?
Yes, he is
Get out.
He's like my dad's third cousin.
Okay, we got to talk another
And
day.
so
This is
every time I go
amazing.
up there, the sisters who bought it are so cool. And
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice,
and I
nice.
get
I've
the-
been meaning to go for a long time, but yeah. We'll love to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that on your own time.
That's the plan.
So my dad's relative built the Integratron.
Oh.
I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't know. I don't even know who the George guy
It's a
is.
favorite
Like
structure in
UFO
Joshua Tree.
UFO contactee.
I
that
figured
built
it was
this
in that
thing.
arena, but I didn't know
Yeah.
exactly who that was.
I knew it had to be paranormal because I heard him get a boner.
It just hit the table. It hit the table. Get pop.
Yeah, that's Frank's bag. Is the
I
UFO
love all
game.
that stuff. Yeah.
So that's what's wrong with me. Yeah.
So Dan, how are you, buddy?
I'm fine. It's been a weird week.
Why?
Just, well, we wanted to talk about it at the top of the show, but the Kobe Bryant news is very, very weird.
Yes,
It's
it is.
very sad.
And it's having a what I feel is a good reaction. I know that's a rough word to use for something like that, but like I've noticed people being a little calmer and cooler around each other. Are you feeling that
Yep.
at all? I know I am. And I'm a dick. You know what I mean?
It's definitely one of those perspective tragedies.
Yeah.
And you're a dad. You have a daughter.
Yeah,
you're a girl dad, which is what's going around now.
Yeah. I immediately, I posted something earlier about this, and this graffiti artist that Dave and I went and watched him complete this piece that I posted online, and it was pretty amazing, and it was pretty touching because people immediately started pulling over and converging on it, just seeing it from the street and writing stuff on the wall and memos, and it became this instant thing. And I'm like, wow, this is really fucking with people, and the art was beautiful and everything. And I started sitting there thinking, I'm like, I'm not the hugest basketball fan. I like basketball, but I'm not a fan. I grew up in New York, so I'm certainly not a Laker fan. I've seen the guy play at Staples Center more than couple of handfuls of times, and it was entertaining and all that. But the thing that struck me most is not them, not him, not even the daughter. I think it's terrible thinking about those moments of terror right before, but I try and wipe that out of my head because there's nothing you could do. They're gone. It's the mom and the other kids that's really fucking with me. How do you move on?
Yep.
Someone made a point, which you don't think about, but his daughters are going to walk past that other one's bedroom for a while.
Yeah,
And the mom,
yeah.
they're going to nothing goes on in there now. It's
Yeah,
just
they got to move. That's step one. Relocate. It's just the memory. That's the rest of their lives. He had a 7-month-old, I think, so she's not even going to remember.
either one
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
And there's those two middle girls that are just
Wrecked.
they're fucked. That's what's making me sad. It's tragic and everything, and I get what a hero he was to people, and so it's but they're gone. That's it.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a big basketball guy. I'll watch the Celtics if they're in the finals.
Right.
And being a Celtics fan, of course, I hate the Lakers. I have to.
Yeah. You're born to hate the Lakers.
But
yes.
I've seen Kobe play 30 times because of my friend, her mom used to run the Staples Center. So
Right.
I would go 5, 6, 7 times a year forever. And you could tell when you were watching that you're seeing a guy who's incredibly special.
Yeah. There's no denying that.
It would be like if Derek Jeter died right now or something.
Right,
It's
right.
so weird. And living in LA, you can feel it in the air.
It's fucking weird here. It is fucking it's a devastated place.
I feel like it's
right
like
now.
being in Massachusetts when JFK died or something.
Yeah.
He is such a fabric of Los Angeles. And it's weird, but people do seem positive and
Yeah. I've noticed it's
feeling something.
bringing a little bit of a better thing out in people weirdly. And once you start really poking around and seeing what the guy was up to after retirement and all that,
Crazy.
he was doing a lot of
Amazing.
great shit. You know what I mean? So you're like, this isn't just some guy who I'm going to just be sportscaster guy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there was a benevolent side. So
he was just as busy and apparently was as good a father as one could be.
yeah.
And
And then the parents that died with their daughter. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
And they have a son and a daughter
Another
at
daughter.
home. Like they lost their parents, and there's
Yeah.
it's too much.
I mean, it's the definition of tragic is that's what this is.
Yeah,
a true tragedy.
Yeah.
And now, did you guys hear that it was pilot error? It was
Right.
the
oh,
pilot.
it was.
So it was super foggy. They shouldn't have been flying in the first place. And he didn't have. There's one piece of like technology they didn't have to let you know that you're getting very close to the ground or something like that. And apparently he couldn't see very well in the fog. So for whatever reason, he started going way faster. And then he took a hard left because he thought he was somewhere else.
Right.
And took a hard left right into the mountain.
Right.
So the only good thing about that is it sounds like no one had any idea what was happening. And
Right.
judging
It was
by
over quick,
by the debris field,
Yeah.
they probably didn't even know what was happening. Or if they did, they had like 2 seconds of fear and then it's just over.
Right.
So if there's a silver lining, that would be
It
But
happened
it's-
quick. Yeah.
It's brutal.
But yeah, it's fucked up.
I think it's weird. There's no traffic around town. You notice that? I mean, there's traffic on the 101 and all that.
Yeah.
But it seems empty.
A little emptier,
A
yeah.
little,
The whole
like,
city's in mourning or something.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
We had a listener comment I want to play because it's going to lead us into another topic here, hopefully. Here we go.
Hey guys, great show, obviously. I just wanted to touch on the Kobe thing from the weekend. I got an alert from the Weather Channel saying that there were clouds and fog. That's how the news was broken to me. Super weird. I grew up in Southern California. I was 10 years old around the three-peat time. You know, Kobe meant a lot to me, but I don't know if it's you guys rubbing off on me or the way I dealt with it. I was waiting tables a couple hours later, and I was saying that instead of, shooting trash into garbage and yelling Kobe, instead of clapping when we drop plates and glasses and things, that's when we should yell Kobe. Let's just say it was a tough crowd, but I thought maybe it would bring a smile to your faces. I appreciate everything you do. Don't be so hard on yourself if you miss a week. We're always here for you. Thanks.
Do you get what he's saying?
No.
Like, people do. Like, when you
Yeah, I
shoot
got that
trash,
part, yeah.
So now when you drop plates and they all break,
Oh, gotcha.
now you say Kobe.
Yeah.
Which we make a lot of jokes
Yeah.
on this show, and we
Yeah.
make a lot of really bad jokes. And now it begs the question, like, can you joke about this one?
Oh, you mean like break because of the...
Like smashing plates and like,
Yeah.
that's the new Kobe.
Yeah.
Clever, but is it? This does seem like one of those things that I haven't really joked about it publicly.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that too, because I think that'll kind of also lead us into that thing as well. Yeah, I made some jokes. I did to my close personal friends that I've been doing that with for 30 years. They were in poor taste, which is why I would never say them publicly.
Right.
I'm not going to lie and be like, I would never say something like that. Especially the people who listen to the show, the sensibilities that we have. That's the way I deal.
Yep.
And I'm going to deal like that with my friends who appreciate that we're dealing with it, that we really know where we're really coming from. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I would never come on here and do that kind of thing with this kind of thing. And I would never do it just an earshot even of anyone. You know what I mean? Am I a bad person for doing that or whatever?
Yeah.
Probably, but it's the way.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, but it's the way I fucking deal. But again, like, I don't know if too soon is the thing, but like, I'm soft in my older age and would be having children, and the fact that there was fucking children involved too, like
Many.
many. The joke was never about that. It was just like a stupid, whatever. And like I said, when I posted that thing of that graffiti artist that did that mural, that's amazing. I was like, there was no joking in me even. And I wasn't a huge fan of the guy. I wasn't.
It doesn't mean.
You know what I mean? Like,
if people like him,
this is
doesn't
a
really matter.
human issue. It's not. Oh, a champion died. Like, it went way. It transcended that for me personally. So.
It was super weird I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
On
you're the
Sunday,
guest.
I was driving over here, and I was on the phone with my mom about like 9:51, and I go, God, it's so foggy, I can't even see. And then a few minutes later, I can't believe that they flew.
That's a horrible joke. Why would you make that joke on our show?
Get the fuck out of here.
I was going to ask, what do you guys think about this stand-up comedian?
That's what we're barreling towards at a
Please,
quick
because
pace
that's
right
my
now.
question. Yeah.
Should we get into?
Sure, let's just get into it. I don't know
So-
if you have
No.
you heard. Okay,
There's a comedian named Ari Shafir, who
I've heard of him.
stand-up comic.
Yeah.
He's on Joe Rogan all the time.
right.
Always comes across as like a brutal comic. So he posted a Instagram video like moments after Kobe died, and this is what he said.
As I know, there's always a lot of like hate, pain in the world, and there's always a bunch of terrible stories. And every once in a while, there's a good story. A good story comes out. A guy who got away with rape got his today. Kobe Bryant is gone. I'm here in Charlotte, the home of the team that originally drafted him. Maybe he wouldn't have raped that chick in Denver if he had stayed in Charlotte with the Hornets. But anyway.
Yeah.
Jesus
And he's getting this
Christ.
backlash.
And he tweeted something that like 23 years too late, the rapist is finally dead kind
Right.
of shit. And from everything I can see, he's pretty much derailed his entire career.
yeah.
like-
Now apparently,
Talent agency dropped him.
Yeah.
Certain shows are refusing to have him on anymore.
right. Well, there were bomb
Comedy
threats.
Cellar is
yeah.
not letting him.
There were bomb threats and threats of violence and shootings if he was to perform at a club that he was supposed to perform like that night or something. Here's my take on it. I don't really know this guy. I don't know his work all that much. I know of him.
Mhm.
I do know that in one of his apology tweets, he tweeted out like, I do this every time someone who's famous dies or celebrity dies. I say the most vile, horrible thing that I can. It's all meant
For
to be
my
a
fans.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, for my fans. Here's my thing. I don't hear any joke in there. And that's why I was saying what I was saying earlier. Did I make a joke? Yeah, I did. But I formulated it as a joke. He's passing himself off as, he's covering as I'm a comedian. It's a joke. But usually comedians tell jokes. What he did, you're not telling a joke. You're just being a dick, is what I heard
wow.
from
To
him.
use the whole "I'm a comedian" thing right now, we need to save that for when it's really needed,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actual jokes that are being
Yeah,
put down.
yeah.
But this is like, it was just cruel.
Yeah,
and
watch
like,
Dave Chappelle. He does a whole couple of
Yeah.
hours about fucking subjects that are taboo, and he makes them relevant, and they're jokes. It's comedy. It's
like
made,
friends of Kobe and friends of all these other people that died saw this,
yeah.
and like it's just. Can you imagine if his daughters see that someday? It's
It
just,
was just no, and look, I don't even really want to touch the whole controversy that he
I
was
would like
marred
to.
in.
I think we need to because
Okay,
I have
go
a
ahead.
question about it.
Okay, go ahead.
So obviously, Kobe allegedly was involved in a rape scandal 23 years ago, right? Or no, less than that, much less than that.
Yeah,
I thought.
whatever it was. Yeah.
And in a hotel room in Denver, and he apparently forced himself and raped a lady who eventually the case was dropped, which doesn't mean nothing happened, by the way.
Right.
Let's pretend for a second that he did it. Are you only as good as your worst act? Is what I want to know. Like, if you rape someone, is that all you are? Or does all the stuff you do for your community, all the stuff you do for your family, is it erased? Like, what are your guys' thoughts?
Wow.
It's hard to assume that he, to say, well, let's assume he did it because.
I'm just saying for the sake of argument.
Right, I know what
let's
you're saying. I
assume.
totally know what you're saying.
I feel like a lot of the Me Too stuff, and I know that it's taboo because I'm a woman, but I feel like a lot of it is girls who made a bad decision and they're embarrassed, or they're, oh my God, I drank way too much and I slept with him. And I remember when this came out and I was like, really? I don't think he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that she did it for money, but I don't know.
Well, look,
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, back to your question, is your worst deed? No, I don't know, man. That's a fucking tough call. If you kill people,
if you're a pedophile,
right? If you're,
I think that negates everything that you've ever done.
right,
sure.
right.
But rape is awful. Murder is awful.
Right, they are awful things.
Can a good person rape? Can a good person murder? I think so.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
so. I think so, but
There's only
you
one
have
way to find out.
You
Frank,
also
take your pants off.
bend over, Frank.
I mean, he was young and maybe drunk, and I don't know.
That's no excuse.
or-
though.
I know.
That's no
I
excuse.
know. It's,
Yeah, or she was young and drunk.
Yeah,
I like,
yeah.
I like your style though, but
But
It's
here's
like an
the thing.
aggressive handshake. Come
Here's
on, you
the
guys.
thing. Allegedly,
a struggle snuggle we call it.
here's my two problems with that whole thing. And I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all the facts. I admit all of that freely. My judgment call, which usually I'll jump on people, you know, my judgment call back then was, I don't know, it just doesn't sound like an airtight, you know, closed case. Allegedly, she had shown up to be investigated with like semen from 5 other guys and like that kind of
Oh,
thing.
I remember that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
so it's
But
like,
let's say- okay,
did
let's-
they all rape you, or did you just pick the one guy who had the most money, who was
Or let's
famous?
pretend.
or
Right.
Let's say she also has the right to fuck 4 dudes.
yeah, totally,
if
and then
one-
not be raped 100%.
But
And
what
then
are the chances? I
do
don't
you
know.
make sure that guy pays and suffers, and you take him to trial and you go against him, or you just take the money grab too? I can be bought off for this much, which is how that ended.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I can't make any judgment on it. All I know is it wasn't a serial thing. This wasn't Bill Cosby
Right.
where 500 women came out against him. It was this one thing. You know what I mean? So I'm inclined to not believe it.
Me too.
It's so hard. You can't
It's hard
just black
because,
and white.
especially with I'm a girl. If I say I don't believe it, then it's like,
Right,
But no,
and,
but
I'm
your
a man,
opinion-
so for me it's weird to say I believe
Right,
him, but
right.
like, you know, there's plenty of dudes that I know who are fucking scumbags, and I love seeing them get what they deserve.
Right.
You know?
And my thoughts are your opinion almost matters more than ours does.
Oh yeah,
Because,
100%.
Well, I think with the Me Too thing, I think it's okay. That's great. But what about the women who say you raped me, and then the guy's career is done, and there's no investigation into the woman? Well, what is she? Is she? You know, it was 20 years.
That's why
I just don't get
I have
it.
a weird, and I do want to believe women, but the hashtag of believe women, like, and everyone says, well, all of them?
yeah.
Why all of them? Why
Yeah.
don't we just believe
Look,
whoever
there's
has
fucking-
the stronger case?
I think it takes away. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It takes away the women who are actually raped.
Yes, of course.
100%.
So
Look,
that's my feeling.
there's fucking scumbag, worthless piece of shit men. There's scumbag, worthless piece of shit women. Human beings are flawed on both sides of the fucking coin here.
Yep.
You know? So it's like, you know, what are you going to do? All I know is that this guy had beautiful children. He did a lot for whatever reason. And am I going to think about that and bring that up when he's gone now anyway? Like, what the fuck's the point? You
Right.
know?
And I also, if you look at the public reaction from people that knew him, and every like broadcaster, every coach, every ex-player, when they
Shaq,
talk
did you
about,
see
oh
him?
my
Oh my
god,
god.
Yeah.
like they are weeping.
Baby.
And if you think if you think that a friend of yours is a rapist, or you have any inkling that it might be true, I just can't imagine you'd be weeping.
Right.
And everyone is like just devastated. All
Yeah,
athletes,
yeah,
not
yeah.
even just basketball players, football players,
Yeah,
baseball
yeah.
players.
David
Yeah.
Beckham was.
Oh, I didn't see
wrote
that
it-
one.
Oh,
Yep.
so sad.
He's English, so they're kind of pussies
Yeah.
anyway. Can't really
They're
put much into
emotionless
that.
fucking people
Yeah.
anyway.
Frank, your thoughts?
Well, I actually was going to say.
Thank
that-
you, Frank.
You know, no, Frank, you know, Kobe was fluent in Spanish. If you want to give a
I know
Spanish
he was,
little.
he was very
And
much
Italian.
loved in the Latino community, and he was a big football fan.
Yeah.
From what I heard, but yeah, like you said, Shaq, who had a very, 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 competitive, difficult personal relationship with Kobe. It was really touching to see that
Yep.
when he said, it's like, yeah, he was like my brother, and you fight with your brother, but you love your brother. And I'm interested to know what Phil Jackson said, because I know Phil Jackson had some pretty harsh words about Kobe, and I think it's no secret that he was super, cocky and arrogant. And I mean, you kind of have to be a little bit to be
Yeah.
at that level.
Right.
But yeah, that's and I think that's the part that really hit me the most, is that I wasn't a fan, but he was human, and he had his flaws, and perhaps maybe this did happen, and that's just part of life.
Right.
And it was very sobering because athletes here in this country, we hold athletes to be superheroes. Like, we don't expect them to die. They're meant to live, into their And I remember my brother lives in Jordan. My parents who don't even
Michael Jordan
care about basketball or any of these sports. I remember on Sunday morning they were texting me and they're like, "Did you hear about Kobe?" And I'm like, "Wow!" Like, it was just like an atomic bomb, and everyone felt it. And you're right, yeah, LA is a bit somber.
It's crazy. He's one of the best that ever played the game. So
the Staples Center got packed. I think there's a petition to rename it like the Kobe Bryant Center or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you think about, like, there's 4 major sports teams.
Right.
Kobe's in the top 3 basketball players of all time, which puts him in the running for one of the best 10 athletes in American history. Mm-hmm. It's a major deal. It's a huge thing. It's like like I said, if Tom Brady or Derek Jeter or someone died. Let me mute your mic while you fuck with that.
Yeah, this
goddamn
it just
retard.
completely fell apart now. Like, it's not even on the thing anymore.
Oh, it slides into there's a little slot.
I know. Right here, right?
Yep. So Frank, you don't like Kobe because
by the
you're
way,
racist?
this is no indication of how I am in bed. But
Fumbling around.
I can't
Where's
slide
the
it
hole?
into the
Can you give him a light,
Yeah,
Frank?
Frank the
You're the
engineer.
engineer. Just fucking get up and help him, will you?
And is it working? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Frank
Give a
forgot
shit what you think about Kobe. Fix my fucking mic.
forgot his role. Let me mute you. So Heidi seems to be pro-rape. From what you're saying.
Yes.
I've always said when I was in a rock band in the early 2000s, and we made our first album, and I really wanted to call it. I can't believe I did this, but I wanted to call it "Rape: A Victimless Crime."
That's horrible.
I'm happy I was talked out of it. It wouldn't have turned out very well. But
Well, look, I read the post the other day, and it had Weinstein, and it says one of the girls said that she was raped, and then went to an event with him the next night, like what? And then one
that's
of
the
them
stuff
kept,
for me. It's how do you want people to believe you if that's what's going on?
And he has text messages and letters from one of the girls who said, "Hey, big guy, I miss you," after he allegedly raped her. I mean, I get it. He's gross, but what? I don't understand. I just don't.
Do you remember the Antonio Brown story, the Patriots player?
Yes.
So his story was some girl was like she was a personal trainer, and she was at his house, and he was like jerking off behind her, and he came on her back.
Ugh.
So
So hot.
so hot. So she left, and then a month later she came back, and he said he promised he wouldn't do that again, and then he did it again.
Oh, good.
And then she came back 6 months later and then claimed he full-on raped her. So let's pretend you're a trainer for a minute, and you go to a dude's house, and he comes on your back. Do you go back for any reason whatsoever?
Not at all.
So how are people supposed to believe your story if you're going to go back 3 times to a sexual predator?
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck yeah, Frank.
Right here.
Kind of.
Fuck the windscreen. It's fine.
All right.
I can't deal
You
with
ready,
it.
Frank? You ready?
Yeah.
Welcome
Okay.
back.
All right. Technical
You guys missed a
difficulties.
great conversation. You guys were fumbling around. Heidi and I got to know each other. It was great.
Okay, it's all fixed.
Sorry, Doc.
Oh, man.
Good job, Frank. Just hold it, dude.
There's got to be a way to.
Got some gaff tape?
I know, that's what I need, actually. North Hollywood, bro.
You want
That's
Frank just
where
to
we
go
are.
hold it for you? Be your microphone
It's
spotter?
7 points or something right here.
Yeah, something like that, 5 points.
5.
5 Point Studios is what this place is called.
Oh.
No big deal. So after Heidi, let me mute this again. This is
You mute it because I'm just trying to tighten it.
So last time you were here, we had a fantastic show, and the feedback, we haven't had that much, like, as good feedback as we've had from our listeners. They really loved you and loved the way you went about telling your story and just your sense of humor. And then we were standing in this room afterwards, and we said you should come back sometime, and you said, "Oh, I got to tell you guys about my childhood and the way you were raised."
Oh Lord.
Can we get into that?
Yeah. So I was born and raised a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Let's start from the beginning, because it's literally something I have no idea what that even
I was
means.
born a poor black child.
The best opening line of any movie of all time.
It's the best.
There's two lines that are the best ever. It's that one. Have you seen Rounders?
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
The first line of that is something like, "If you're sitting at a poker table and after a half hour you can't spot the sucker, you are the sucker."
Yeah, you are.
Too great.
It's
of a
you.
line.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
So I was born and raised a Jehovah's Witness. I was born in Wisconsin, raised in Texas, and then back to Wisconsin. And I mean, that's pretty much what it was. It's where you go to school and your mom comes to the teacher and says, "My daughter can't do birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving."
What is a Jehovah's Witness?
It's what the Jacksons were.
Yeah.
That does not help me. You're black, sort of?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of.
And you're a great
You're
singer.
sort of
I am.
black.
A lot of soul. Your dad beat you? No, so what is it?
It was a religion started by Charles Taze Russell in 1880-ish. So right around like when the Mormons started, and he was 18 and obsessed with predicting when the end of the world was going to be. And he started these pamphlets, which are the Watchtower and the Awake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And he started this religion where, I mean, it's nuts. But
what's the basis of the belief system?
that you are going to eventually live on Earth, but everybody's going to be destroyed who are not Jehovah's Witnesses. But
It's very elitist.
Most religions are.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they believe that only something like 144,000?
144,
Only.
but
Uh-huh.
they were supposed to. So in 1914 is when all these people were supposed to be born, and then by the time that they die, we're supposed to be in this Earth that's, it's destroyed, and then they come back. But all those people have died.
Right. I was just going to say, so there's
So
nobody
they
left.
had to say, "Oh, you have to have faith," and we made a mistake. We miscalculated. So
Is that really what they said?
yeah, they said you have to
Wow.
have faith. So
We made a mistake. Just
yeah, so
tag on another 30 years.
But I don't know where to go with. But as a kid, it was awful, because if you think about in public school, all like Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, everything, and I had to leave the room. Always was some kid who was not right, like just no offense, but like
Right.
not right, and I'd have to leave and go to a room and wait until you heard like "Happy Birthday" and wait till it's done. Everybody has their cake, and you have to come back and be like, "Oh."
Happy
Was it more-
birthday to you. All right, we can go back in.
So
horrible.
Could you even partake in the cake or anything?
Not
like
at all. Nope. No, I got in trouble once because I took a chocolate bar in like the first grade, and we lived across the street, and I walked home and I ate it really fast. I had chocolate all over my face. And my cousin went to school with me, unfortunately, and she was a Jehovah's Witness too, and she told her mom.
She ratted you
ratted
out.
on
That
me.
fucking cunt.
Ratted on me. So I walked in the door and my mom was on the phone, and she was like, "Oh, she's right here." And then there I was. I was like, "What?" Like, oh,
With a chocolate mustache.
Would you like to get your cousin on the phone and tell her how you feel?
I haven't spoken. No, I was disfellowshipped when I was 20 because I was in a band that worshiped the devil. No big deal.
No wonder you're so fucked up.
Was that the Electric Hellfire Club? Which I listened to in high school, which is awesome.
Really, you did?
A little bit, uh-huh.
And so I was disfellowshipped. I lost my entire family.
So there is
family.
a good side.
So it was awesome.
You don't know how lucky you are.
Have you had any contact with any of them over
My
these
mom
years?
and my dad and my sister is 10 years younger, so I of course I'm friends with her.
Right.
They're
And I have an
still in?
aunt.
They're still full on?
My father is. but it's nuts. It's crazy. I lost everyone, and I was really close. We're really small family. It was tragic. I was like it was awful.
At what age do you start to realize those things? Like,
that's what I want to know. Like, how do
when
you
does
get
it
out?
start bothering you? In other words, I'm sure there were other children that were like, yeah, this is what we do. I have the faith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When did it turn for you where you're like, I'm not so sure about all this and I'm missing out?
I think probably I was like 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it was like, oh, this is ridiculous. Because I had questions. And I was the kid who asked all, like, this doesn't make sense. Where in the Bible does it say that we can't practice
candy?
Yeah.
Go trick or treat,
Sing
treating.
the song. Yeah.
And I would always ask, and they'd say, well, you just have to have faith. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense.
I need more than that, please. Yeah.
Okay, so
awful.
You're 14, you're 15, you're 16. When are you like, I got to get the fuck out of here?
I'm trying to think of how old I was.
Or were you pushed out?
I was engaged to another Jehovah's Witness when I was 19. And that's basically because you can't have sex before you get married. The only time you can have a celebration is when you get married. And so that's what I did. And I cheated on him with the guy that sold us our furniture for our house. That's horrible. I'm laughing.
That's so hot.
I paid so much for that karma.
Nice couch, buddy. What are you doing? Why don't we give this little couch you're moving in here a test spin?
Let's test these springs.
It's making me sweat. Horrible. I'm an awful human being.
No,
I don't think you are. I don't think you
that
are.
was my way out. Because I just wanted to
Fucking the moving
leave.
guy?
Yeah.
I know what I'll do.
It was because I didn't want to. I don't know. It was hard.
And did your family find out about the moving guy?
No.
Okay.
Hopefully they won't.
We'll send them this.
I doubt we have any Jehovah's Witnesses listening to us at this
wonder if we
moment.
do. That
never
would be
know.
great.
Now there's a show that's going to be on Oxygen, I think, and it's called Witnessed, and it's all about. So let's say I was molested as a child, and I went to my mom and I said I'm being molested. She would have to go to the elders and tell them about it, and you can't call the cops.
Right.
And you have
It's like
to have,
Scientology, kind of. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, this whole thing, it sounds very Scientology-ish.
Yeah.
Because it's the excommunication and you lose your family and.
And you do the whole door-to-door.
Oh my God, I was like 6 when I did it for the first time. It was horrible.
And what do you do? Like, you go, people open the door and you're like, what do you do?
I said, my thing was, hi, my name is Heidi. I'm here with sister so-and-so, and we want to know if you want to live forever on a paradise earth.
We're also here to fuck the moving guy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I had Jehovah's Witnesses come to our door from time to time. We would just slam the door in their face. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's got to be weird to be part of a religion that is like the butt of so many jokes.
Yeah, but are you aware of that growing up?
No.
Yeah, because I mean,
No,
I know.
Of course,
Because
you
it's the
wouldn't. You
truth.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's what we think is the truth.
Right. But like in Scientology, you're not even allowed to fucking access the internet. You know, unless you're a cruise.
But they're like,
he can Google shit. Him and Travolta Google stuff all the time, but pretty much everyone else can't. So they're not even aware of being the butt of the joke, I don't think, especially ones that are born into a faith.
but they're like the robocall of door knockers.
Yeah, they certainly are.
Like, these fucking people.
Yeah.
Well, if you notice now, they stand on the corner of the street, and they have these racks, and they put the watchtower and the awake on them, and they
I've
don't
seen
go
some
from
Jehovah's
door to
Witnesses
door.
with some nice racks.
On the corner, they're
I've seen
called
some
hookers.
excommunicated ones with the nice rack too, sitting right next to me.
Oh, well, thank you.
Lucky moving guy.
I'm sweating now.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, that was a tough thing because I always wanted to sing and perform, and I wasn't allowed to do any of it.
Right.
Because you're supposed to I was supposed to be a cleaner, clean homes, and then you dedicate your life to Jehovah God.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
Awesome.
Is there a see? But that's what I don't understand is a family like the Jackson family, who the father apparently was very devout, and the mom and stuff like that. That they were Jehovah's Witnesses, and
I don't know if he was
Michael himself.
I think she was. The mom was.
I think he was too. I think Joe was as well. I could be wrong, but I thought the whole family was. And how do you train your children to sing and play instruments for money and become like famous? You know, like,
well, there's a lot of hypocrisy because my cousin's husband is a musician in Wisconsin, and they were allowed to tour and do all that. Right. But.
Are there Jehovah's Witnesses? Are they proud of their celebrity members like Prince and Michael Jackson and all that?
Yes.
Yeah. Do they use that almost to kind of get people in?
Well, especially Prince until he died of, his overdose or whatever.
Yeah, drug overdose, right.
But not very Jehovah Witnessy.
And Michael Jackson, he died of an overdose as well.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yeah.
See, it messes with you.
Yeah.
Don't become a Jehovah's.
You're lucky you just got shit dumped on you. You're done. You're paid up in full now.
Now I know, like in Scientology, they have some like they treat their people pretty bad if they step out of line. I know that I've interviewed former Scientologists who have actually been in like Scientology prison here in LA in that big blue building. Is Jehovah Witness the religion? Are there any situations where they would discipline somebody harshly like that? I mean, they already seem like they want to separate you from your family if you're not kind of following along.
Well, as a kid, we were told that we were supposed to be spanked a lot. Ooh, yeah. So there's that. Which
I can see some people liking that though.
Can you say that in a sexier? Can you say that in a little bit of a sexier voice?
Spanked a lot.
Let's role play here. Let's show people what.
Rare form after dark. I like it.
I'd like to witness a little Jehovah, if you know what I mean.
No, but it was there was a lot of that, a lot of like child abuse.
Wow.
And that's what the show is coming out showing, that the witnesses have a database that is full of abuse and murder. They said in this episode. I was like, what? Murder?
See, I would watch that show in a second because I'm like, I was hooked on like the Leah Remini.
Yes. And did you see her
Clear
special?
And saw her special.
With the Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the panel of, there was a few witnesses. Yeah, just people from other cults.
I was excited that it was all Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know if you saw that episode. You should watch it. I definitely
saw it, I think, because I remember, unless I didn't. No, I'm pretty sure I did because I remember them talking about Jehovah. No, I remember them talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. I had thought that maybe there were other members from other religions too.
No, it was all that. It's awful the way it's.
The good thing is though that you were one of the coolest words ever is excommunicated.
Yeah.
I really want to be excommunicated.
Oh, that's
disfellowshipped. That's very Lord of the Rings.
Michael did the cool thing, and he excommunicated himself, which is you write a letter and you say, "I no longer want to be a Jehovah's Witness." That's so cool. I remember I was like, "Oh, that's so cool. I wish I could do
Just do it now. Like we'll accept it for you. Just do it right now.
We'll wait. Go ahead.
And then you could say, "I excommunicated myself."
Yeah,
that's right.
Later, bitches.
Peace.
Do you get a spanking when you get excommunicated?
But the thing was with that is that they tried to. They did it, and I didn't know. So I went to my cousin's house, and I walked up the door, and I knocked on the door, and I saw them, and they wouldn't open the door, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she opened the door, and she's like, "You're disfellowshipped," and I was like, "No, I'm not." She's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry," and that's the last I heard from her. And I was married. My husband died 11 years ago, and I never got a call from any of my family.
But that's got to be so traumatic. Like, I mean, you sit here and we know you, the way we know you just a couple of times, and you seem so well adjusted, and you have a great sense of humor, and you seem like you have a really good grasp on everything that's going on. That's got to be so traumatic for the people that your blood and what you know, and they're just like, nope.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can't talk to you ever again.
Well, that's a long time ago, but I finally am like, you know what? It's their loss because I'm really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the
like
spirit.
but it really hurts still because I lost time with my grandparents, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, and now they're all gone except for my cousins, and I have an aunt.
And you
that's
gain
left.
time with the movers.
Exactly.
So it evens out at the end of
And
the
his
day.
name was Max. Oh, I just remembered. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, honestly, if you knew his name.
Max,
And do you remember what he looked like?
Yep. He looked like.
That's why she still moves once a year. Still. To this
She
day.
moves once a week.
I'm sick of this place. Max?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't even imagine. You know, is Jehovah's Witness? Are they like as wealthy?
Oh
The
my God,
Scientology
they have
thing
so
is-
much money.
The reason why that exists is because the money they have behind them.
You pay to climb ranks in
and once
Scientology.
they became tax exempt, it's like these people could take over the world with the amount of money they have.
Yep.
They buy up buildings and properties, and most of the time,
Just like the Jews, dude.
yeah. But
The Jews.
but the difference with the Jews is they keep people in those buildings and keep cranking out stuff. Apparently, a bunch of these Scientology buildings are completely empty. There's like one person sitting at a desk, and it's just to put it in the ethos of how big Scientology is. It's like buying a building is just an advertisement for them. It's not a place of productivity necessarily.
Did I tell you the time I got trapped in the Scientology building?
No.
I was a messenger. I was
no,
a
that
car
means it.
messenger, and I delivered a package to the Celebrity Center on Franklin there.
Beautiful there.
It's awesome. But I went in and I asked for wherever this person was. Like, oh, follow me. And I went through all these like weird hallways and through different doors and then doors within doors. And then I was just left in a room and they locked the door. They locked me in this room and I was there for like 20 minutes before someone came in. And I was like, I need to drop this package off. Like, yeah, but we'll get to that. But before that, I just want to talk to you a little bit just about your life and see where you're at. No, I don't want to do that. They're like, well, we need to do it in order to get this package from you. And they kept me hostage for like 30, 40 minutes. And they tried to get me to do the...
Oh, they make you hold those
They tried
things
to.
and-
I'm like, I'm not touching that fucking shit.
Yeah,
I know what you're doing, and I'm not going to allow it. And
You should be, bro. My last name is Cleary,
Yeah.
so I'm clear. I'm already clear.
and it was super.
Did they try and
super
come on your
weird.
back?
Oh, they did come on my back.
Okay.
And then I came on there. So it
so
was
you
kind
went
of like, yeah, I'm a Scientologist now. It's cool. A lot of fucking. It was very, very
Cruz's
creepy.
cum is so hot, temperature-wise.
Travolta's is weird. Very lumpy, like gravy. What?
Oh man, we've just gone off the rails at this point.
Anyway, rest in peace, Kobe.
Yes. Tragic. Do you want to get to some questions?
Sure. Yeah, we got a bunch here.
Actually, I'll play the thing, and then I have a question.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Rare Form Radio. Please leave a message after the tone.
So I got a question. It might be in there too, but our buddy Rob Dukes, who's called into the show a bunch of times, he was the lead singer for Exodus, and yeah, Rob's a good friend of mine and a great guy, and he's doing a bunch of new things now. He's doing stand up, and which I'm very jealous of because that's something that I just want to do, and I just never have the fucking desire to actually do it. Anyway,
Wait, I have a quick story.
Yes, go ahead.
I did stand up and I was in a class. I'll be really quick. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But I was in a class with, it was all women and there was like 6 of us. And I sat next to a blonde who was beautiful and awesome. And we got along. And I asked her what she did. And she said, oh, I work in the sports business. And I was like, oh, cool. And she had this big rock on her finger. The next week, we exchanged phone numbers, and I was like, you're so cool, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so what do you do with the sports? It was Jeannie Buss.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And at that time, she was engaged to Phil Jackson, and he was at my stand-up show. And he called me over, and he was like, I really think you need to do stand-up, and I didn't. So,
Yeah.
but anyhow.
Jeannie
okay,
Buss,
go.
by the way,
Sorry.
is the current owner of the
yeah.
Lakers.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, go. I'm sorry.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. You should do it.
Sorry.
Anyway, so Rob had a question.
I'm sorry. You'll never
So-
have me back. Interrupt.
Please leave.
Rob had a question I don't know. Are you familiar with the King Kong movies?
Yeah, this question really confused me.
It confused me too, but I'm going to give Rob a pass just because he's a good dude. But this is the question. In all the King Kong movies, why did they build a big door in the wall? Are they ever inviting Kong in? Why would they do that? Seems like a huge waste of resources and time.
I love the randomness of that question.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a perfect rare form question.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I know how to answer it either, other than, Rob, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
They built a door so they can go in and out.
Stick to Exodus.
No, I'm just kidding.
It was a huge door, remember?
Yeah, it was
like,
a huge door. And it is a good question, actually, Rob, in the sense that why would they build it are they trying to entice him in? They built a Kong-sized door, but they're all like in fear of him. Am I missing that point?
Does he ever come out of the door?
I don't know. I mean, the guy can climb the fucking Empire State Building. Like, he doesn't really need the door.
You know how strong one chimp
I think
is?
that's the point Rob is making, actually. Like, they don't really need the door, just a waste of fucking time.
Right.
He's a huge
But like, think
gorilla.
about how strong one chimpanzee is.
Right.
Like, no wall's gonna even hold Kong.
Yeah, you can't hold him back.
You know what? I'm starting to doubt this movie. The factual. I don't buy it
It's
anymore.
a fucking pack of lies.
Yeah, I'm not buying Kong.
Just selling that's the man feeding you lies.
More like King Crap.
It's a King Kong size lie is what it is.
Can you imagine if King Kong saved his diarrhea and poured it on your head?
I think he did.
It'd be just flowing in the river of shit.
The fucking shit tsunami.
Oh, God. Oh.
Did you hear that Howard Stern mentioned you the other day?
No.
Yes, he did.
Stop.
Howard Stern talked about the story for like 20 seconds on the show last week.
I love him so much.
He's probably the reason we're all here doing this right now. But
I love him.
He said he wanted to come over and
much.
move your furniture.
I think JD mentioned
kinda
the
looked
story,
like Max.
and Howard said he'd read about the story and heard about it.
Wow.
So Howard Stern knows who you are.
What?
Yeah.
That's right.
Life is complete.
Silver lining.
I'll see you later, guys.
Silver lining to a silverback gorilla. I don't know how that makes any correlation, but we were just talking about apes.
You've gone from fucking moving men to having Howard Stern know who you are. It's been a nice journey.
Wow.
It's been a nice journey.
And apparently, this is alleged. Apparently, he was masturbating while talking about you.
Yep.
He didn't say that on air, but it was like if you
can hear
read
it in his
between the
voice.
lines.
It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that story.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We have some voicemails. This one's very old, but we could talk about it.
Okay.
Glad to have you guys back. Looking forward to listening to the show. My question is in regards to social media tonight.
I love the way he talks.
I know you've talked at length about the effect it has on our society and our younger generations, but I was wondering, in your own personal experience, how you've maybe shifted your priorities into trying to promote certain things such as art or the radio show or anything else, and how you think you've evolved with social media in the past, 10 or so years. Thanks.
Dan, how do you think you've evolved in the past 10 or so years?
He's got a great voice.
I think basically I've really enjoyed social media, letting people know who I really am.
The inner Dan.
No, I love it.
Talking sexy hurts my throat. I'm old.
What do you think? Yeah, I mean, you're big on Instagram. That's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be bigger on Facebook and tweet out stuff, and I stopped kind of doing that. I mean, I do post for the show, like not in the way you do. Dan, just so Heidi knows, Dan, I don't know if you're following our pages at all on social media, but Dan will post for the show, and he'll use it. What is it an app that I mean, obviously it's an app, but
Snapchat face filters. And
he uses
no, I see that.
He uses
and
a face
you
filter.
You love them, don't you? You love them.
Yeah, at first I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, because you didn't know what it was because it's fucking stupid.
Todd.
And it bothers me because Dan thinks he's creating some character that's like, but it's really just the app that's doing that and changing his voice.
No.
So anyway,
I think about it.
No, I know.
I do, like,
that's what bothers me is that you think about it so
I do
much.
15 until I feel like I've really
Got
developed
the
something
one.
special.
Yeah. Okay.
So fuck you.
So it's become a thing between Dan and I, and now other people are chiming in like, Todd's gonna love this one. I'm like, fuck you on the thing. So it's actually funny. It's a funny thing to argue about, but I don't do that. You know, like just I'm not secure enough with myself to do stuff like that, I guess.
Same.
But on a serious note, to answer the question, I used to post a bunch of shit and I used to read all the comments and like I want that part of my brain to be used for other stuff at this point in my life. So I post pictures of my kids, I post some art thing that I did or some cool photos that I took.
There's a cute one of your wife and you. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's
Gorgeous.
She makes me dress up like a moving guy when I'm certain night of the week.
Will you put the back brace on tonight?
Sometimes I just come in with a hand truck full of boxes,
Ready to fuck.
marked kitchen stuff, and she's just
Kitchen,
like,
living room, pussy.
she squirts across the room. So yeah, I'll post stuff like that, and even that, like, I like posting stuff with the kids, but then I'm also like, they're also getting older, and that's their lives now. So like, Dave bought Luca a great guitar, and I wanted to post it because he looked fucking cool in the picture. But even that is like this is his privacy now. You know, like I'm aware of that. Yeah, I'm his father. I can do whatever the fuck I want, but
Here's my son's first pubes, everybody.
yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go because they're gonna live forever online in some capacity or another, and it's like so I'm kind of pulling back on that a little bit.
Good for you for having that insight. A lot of parents like just wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, but it's their getting older, and it's their fucking deal. You know what I mean? So I ask them now, "Are you cool?" I used to never they didn't have Instagram or Facebook. I don't even think my son does. He's not really interested in social media at all. He's interested in games. But my daughter is. She likes Snapchat and shit like that. Yeah. So, but I'll ask now, are you cool if I post this? This is what I wrote underneath it. And, sometimes she's like, no. And I'm like, fuck it. Too late. Send. You stupid bitch. But
Cool. Hey, hashtag girl dad. Kobe,
try and physically stop me from posting it.
Kobe was the same way with his daughters. How's this one, you stupid bitch?
No, but no, on a serious note, I do. I get their permission, whatever. And like, I won't post that.
Girl dad.
I'm just kidding. I won't post political shit. It's just like,
it
I
opens
don't,
up a can
I don't want to fucking hear it. You know, I won't get into controversy. Most of the stuff that I post on the other sites is I've put a picture on Instagram with a little caption and I'll share it maybe 50-50 to the other ones. But I don't go on and write a thing and, my mood is this or blah, blah, blah. I'm fucking getting over it. I'm actually considering just dumping my Facebook completely at this point. I don't look at it. I don't want news from there. It's cool to look at little videos that are funny every now and then, but like if I really want to do that, I'll go to fucking YouTube and search funny thing, like I don't need it to be thrown in my face anymore. I've deleted all games off my phone because like I used to.
Wait, what games did you have?
I had like Scrabble and backgammon, like
I
weird
backgammon
fucking.
all
Yeah.
day.
Well, that was the problem.
I'm addicted to it.
Well, the problem is I was addicted to it, and I would sit there and I'd fucking play like at every moment I had to sit and wait for something. I just whip out the phone and and I'm like,
at a red light, better play Baccarat.
Yeah. So I deleted all those games like the last month or so, and I feel lighter.
That's
it's fucking
awesome.
weird, but
What's the game old ladies play at casinos? Mahjong.
Yeah.
At the dentist playing Mahjong.
I had Scrabble, backgammon and rummy cube.
Oh my!
Those
that's
were
a
my
good one,
favorite
too.
games.
That's what
Yeah.
my grandma has on her phone.
And I'm like, I have those games. If I want to play them, I'll say to the kids, "Do you want to play these?" You know. But I dumped all that shit.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my social.
Heidi,
media
what are your
take.
thoughts on social media?
Kind of the same. I think Facebook I have mainly because my mom is on it. So she'll post things on my page, and she has like 14 friends. So I don't want to be.
It would break her heart if you left.
Totally. But I have a lot of fans on there, not to be like, but from the band.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of people on there, and I don't know. I think for relationships, what sucks is that you can go on Messenger and see when they were last online.
Mm-hmm.
So this morning I told my boyfriend, I sent him a message, and I see that he read it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Oh no, I've been asleep." And I'm like, "You just read it." And then I look like a crazy person.
Sure.
He was like,
Maybe
I
I
was just
am.
helping my friend move.
Max came over. We're helping some ladies.
See, but I do that. Like, I open up messages and I just like look at it real fast, like
Forget. You
and
just
I forget, or I'll answer that later
Yeah,
or whatever.
It's a guy thing, I think, too.
But then I saw that you saw my thing, and you're like, fuck off, man. Like,
I know.
if I don't know you well enough for you to have my mobile number, my number, and text me,
Yep.
then fuck you. You don't deserve a fucking quick answer from me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I like it.
But people
I
do
like
get
the-
bent out of shape.
I enjoy social media. I like interacting with people. Not so much in person. Like I'm not a big fan of like, let's get lunch.
Me too.
Sometimes I
Right.
will,
Yeah.
but I like chatting with people, and we don't have a ton of fans, but the ones that we do, I like interacting with them. I do like the back and forth. I like sometimes they're clever, sometimes they're very much not clever.
I say I don't, but I do
Yeah,
like that.
it's
But
enjoyable,
and
and
on
I-
Instagram, it's fine.
Yeah, I think the Instagram is.
That's
It's
that's
fun.
good. Twitter too. I enjoy Twitter a lot. Twitter
Right.
is so good for breaking news. I mean,
I haven't looked at the home page of people who I follow. I don't think since I installed Twitter.
really?
Because I'm too narcissistic. I just want to see my shit. Who liked my shit? Dave and I were having a huge conversation about this the other night, too, because the friends thing is now followers. And it's like
Yeah.
the intention there is to gain followers. You came from a cult. Like, it's like the Instagram fucking cult, you know?
Yep.
Like, have this many followers, and like I don't know who chose that word, but I'm sure it was very carefully
Probably
chosen.
a board decided.
Decided to call it followers, and it's like following what? You look at a bunch of my pictures, I'm grateful that you like what I post and stuff like that, but like I would rather they change that. Like that's kind of turns me off to
it.
it.
Feed, which means like you can't get enough.
Yeah.
Stuff yourself with this.
But all that shit is like fucking Cal Poly guys, out in
I'll tell you what, it's
Silicon
working for me.
Valley figuring all that shit out with
Yep.
shrinks and psychiatrists and what
I think
color
it
should the
messes
thing
with
be.
kids' head too when you're young, but also now with the I can't even think. I have the I'm sick. With the
Oh yeah, Heidi has the controvirus, by the way.
the
figured out earlier.
coronavirus.
Oh, the corona.
She's got the Hertz
I've got the
virus.
Wu-
What I say? Controvirus?
Yeah.
The Iran Contra virus.
No, the video game. The Nintendo
Well,
game.
it started at the hearings, then it fucking mutated into a virus.
It's been a slow build. It's a slow building virus.
No, she
taken
has
a while.
She has Hertz and Ryder truck disease.
Cool.
No. He owned a furniture store.
He had his own operation going. This was
So
a
it's much
man of
better.
means.
Much
Now
better.
let's go back to that. Let's go back to that for a second. How you were 19,
Yeah.
and
19.
how did that session start? Did he put the moves on? Did you know him already, or did you walk out in like your undies? And he's
Fingering
like,
yourself.
and he's like, I gotta have that.
No, I think it was just
Did you know him
I
already
don't really
or no?
remember
Okay.
how it started.
Can you make something up real quick? Or?
I think we just were flirting, and I was 19, almost 20, and I think he was like 35, 36.
Sounds
so.
about right. That's how.
Do you think he went back? Honestly, do you think he went back? He was like to his friends, like, dude, I just banged a 19-year-old Jehovah's Witness, and they were like, "That's awesome!" Like,
probably.
Probably.
I mean, that's literally like that's the perfect porno setting for a story.
Yeah.
A furniture store?
Yeah, just like the
Well,
19-year-old.
A 19-year-old whose
Taboo.
faith is not supposed to just have sex with a dude like that. That's the fantasy.
Which is pretty much every religion.
That's what he's saying to his friends is, I fucked this girl against all odds. Heavenly odds were against me.
I did that, and now she goes to hell. I just gave her a death sentence. Frank, your thoughts on social media?
I think it's getting a bit it's getting a bit burnt out for me. I'm also kind of just pulling back from it. I think I use Instagram the most, and I mean last year, you know how you do like the top 9. I didn't have enough pictures for a top 9 because I almost use it just to remind myself of something I want to remember. So it's like, oh yeah, you know, this is a cool moment. Take a picture, forget about it, and then, you know, a few months later, I'll scroll back. So I use it mainly for myself. I also notice that
there's
the
also
older
a
I get, my
photos
memory is
folder
getting
on
back.
your phone that you could do that same thing with.
Well, yeah, sure, but those are the moments that I wouldn't mind sharing with people.
Right. I'm actually seriously considering dumping my or at least taking everything off of it and just putting. You can find me on Instagram, and if you want to follow me there, great. If you don't, I'm not offended. You know what I mean?
I've been giving massive thought the last 2 days to just getting rid of all my family on Facebook. Because I posted something the day after Kobe died, and it was not a joke about Kobe. It was a political thing, and I said, if I've learned one thing in the last 24 hours, it's that Donald Trump should take way more helicopter rides.
Yeah, and I think I liked it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It was not a dig at Kobe, but my aunt came out and she's like, I'm so disappointed. I'm ashamed of you.
I read some of the comments just because they were fun to me to read you getting hate.
That's my godmother. And she's like, I'm ashamed of you. I'm like, well, sorry. I mean, it's just, that's how I feel.
Right.
And then I got into a huge fight with this neighbor kid I grew up with. I unfriended him today because he's just a fucking idiot. And I don't think I want family on there anymore. Things are easier when you're not interacting with your family directly.
Yeah. Here's the thing, too.
You're so
I totally
lucky.
know that.
You're so lucky.
I know that
Here's
feeling.
the thing, too, with Facebook for me, and it might just be a vibe thing. I might be crazy to even think that this is a real thing. I had to block a couple of people today when I posted a thing about the Kobe mural that I took the photos of, and I said this thing that it was about humanity. It wasn't even really about him. It was a great kick.
You said
igniter.
some very nice things.
Yeah. And there were a few people that had to he's a rapist, and I'm like, you know what? Just shut the fuck up, block. You know what I mean? And I don't get that kind of. Maybe there's less eyes on it on my Instagram or something, but I feel like Instagram is a different format and a forum where it's not as much of that shit. That
Facebook
people don't feel as free to just fucking slam something.
I also think Facebook just is supposed to collect everyone that you know, everyone that you're related to, all your friends, and every acquaintance you've met is with you on Facebook.
Right.
Instagram is like, no, these are more my people.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
follow
yeah.
you because they something you do speaks to them, or there's some kind of connection. Facebook,
Right.
you're just supposed to be friends with everybody.
Right.
Which is Facebook is more the real world, and Instagram is more like your living room.
Right. That's what
In a
I'm kind
way.
of trying to say, I guess. It was a good way to put it, because, which is why I'm considering it. And plus, just the whole, I know they're kind of intertwined company-wise and who backs who and all that, and your Instagram's connected to your face. I get all that. But there's just something about that blue F and the whole Zuckerberg thing, how everybody fucking hates this guy, and he's the reason why we have the president that way, all that. I'm just I think I'm
And it's
done.
weird that it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, watch. What is it? The Great Hack? Is
Yeah,
that?
that's
Watch
I haven't
that.
seen that.
It's so good. You'll love it. It's all that shit. Analytics and overthrowing governments through social media and all that, and how true it is.
Wow.
You know?
And how do they know? Like, I'll be like talking about, I don't know, moving furniture. And now I'm going to get all these ads.
A friend request from Max.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get all these ads. How does that
Yeah, you're going to get
that creeps
bombarded.
me out.
Yeah, I buy a pair of fucking socks, and then there's 1,800 sock things that hit
Isn't
all of my social medias.
weird.
That Cambridge Analytica thing, though?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
they collecting keywords.
Yeah, they collect data, they collect keywords,
You
and
mean when you talk
Yeah.
and they hear it?
I was just sitting on the couch with my wife, and we were talking about playing the game Uno. Big Uno fans in our house.
I love
And
it.
I opened up my Gmail account, and there was an ad to buy Uno decks.
Stop. It's so
I wasn't on the phone. I was just talking near it. I mean,
Yeah.
you were saying, is it the Great Hack or no? Edward Snowden was on Joe Rogan earlier this year or last year, and he said that all of our phones, all of our computers, and now our televisions are recording and taking video of everything they see 24 hours a day of every person.
What?
Yeah.
So everything that we say
is
in a database somewhere.
And they say that, and
Your
TV.
your TV
Yeah.
has a video camera on it
Right.
now. It's people can hack that and watch you in your
Well, that's
home.
why. I mean, I don't have my computer open right now. Usually I do, but
I have the
I have blocks on all my little slides, and that block your. So you could slide it open, and if you're FaceTime or whatever.
If you're trying to show someone
Look,
your dick
I'm
on
not.
FaceTime.
I'm not. I'm not running for office. You know.
Wow.
If somebody wants to ruin me for some bad joke I said to you on the phone, that was a private thing.
It's there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's there and whatever, But, I'm not worried in that sense because this is the world we live in. But I think it was even as far back as like 10 years ago, the data was that through street cameras and store and ATMs and now I'm sure with Ring apps and this and that, you get recorded like 6 hours of the day on average by just other sources that you have no fucking idea that are even recording you.
I had the weirdest thought. I've had this thought multiple times. We were talking about how the crime documentaries, with everyone being on camera all the time, I'm kind of sad that we might be nearing the end of serial killers.
Yep.
Because they can be found quickly now. So now you can only get to like maybe 3 or 4.
Look at the
That's
what cats thing.
That's what Dan jerks off about at night.
But there's not going to be the the John Wayne Gacy's have taken like you should get the fuck out of here, you pig. Like,
you're gonna start getting deviated septum ads on your Facebook.
Those nasal strips.
Yeah.
But like, we're not going to have the kill count of the 30s and 40s anymore, and that's a goddamn shame to me.
Yeah.
Netflix is going to go out of
It's a
business in 20
changing
years.
world.
There's going to be no more crime docs.
Yeah, it's a
ID
changing
channel.
world.
Gone.
Well, it's all digital crimes, and some of that shit is fucked up. If you watch specials on that, like how they can hack all your information and drain your bank account.
But that's not killing 30 women.
Yeah, you're right.
So
It's
much
not.
better.
You're right. You are right about that.
Those
but,
days of slicing off titties are done.
Fuck that. I'm dumping my Facebook. If you're listening, follow me on Instagram because I'm going to dump my Facebook. But like the Alexa, my kids wanted them. I will not. I unplug them and like fucking throw a towel over. Put cement around them. Like,
throw it in the river.
They can listen to music and shit when they're in the room, but like I will not allow it to be in my living room and places like that because that's just that's what it's made for, is to hear you talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the phones too, because of Siri, your phones are always
My
listening.
I've never used Siri once in my life.
It is pretty great.
I've never opened it. I shut it off.
Oh no, it's good.
Yeah. Hey Siri, go fuck yourself.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh man.
More questions?
Yes.
Last week we talked about bullying teachers, right? Right? Was that last week? Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay. Yell and Neil wrote in and said, bullying teachers. There was a teacher at our school that was devoutly religious. In her classroom, there was a big old style rotating blackboard. So some students got in there and first and wrote on one side and wheeled it round to the back. Story goes that Story goes is a great thing to say. Legend has it that she started her lesson and at some point rotated the blackboard to reveal "the devil is coming" and 666 and other such satanic messages.
Cool
She
kids.
screamed and ran out of the room. She was off school for 3 months.
No.
That's a weak ass teacher.
She went to go fuck the moving guy.
Good move. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that's a good prank. We've talked a lot about black dicks on this show. Let's talk about some black dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Todd, Dan, and Frank. Longtime fan and listener of you guys on Dark Matter and now here in rare form. I just wanted to comment on a previous podcast episode. It was episode 38 where a listener asked if black men really do have big dicks. And I can say from experience that some black men do and some don't. So I've had an experience with 2 African men, not American, if that makes sense, or makes a difference, and one from the Caribbean. And I would say each were on different ends of the dick size spectrum. If I remember correctly, the size of a smaller dick was about 4 inches erect, and the bigger dick was 9 or 10 erect. And the Caribbean was 5 or 6 inches erect.
But it also had a pina colada next to its balls.
And braided pubes on it. Anyway, I know this message is really late. I just got caught up with the podcast and felt compelled to message that black dicks. Okay, black dicks, cool. Interesting.
There's not really a question there. It's just
it's a comment. It's a black dick expose.
Yes. Okay, I'll give my experience with black dicks.
Delicious.
They're delicious. No, I grew up in a very Can I get $5.75 for a Trojan Magnum for my big black dick? I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood, black and white. It was pretty much half and half, and went to high school and played sports and saw my share. And I was always under the impression that, some do live up to myth and some don't. And there was one guy in particular, well, it was an acquaintance of mine. He wasn't one of my good friends. I played soccer in high school. He was playing football. We were changing in the locker room at the same time.
Madman Newman?
This is before that.
Okay.
And then too, and that was college stuff. But and he was like fucking 6 foot tall. I'm not a tall guy by any means. And we're just talking and getting gear off. He's taking his fucking shoulder pad. I'm taking my shorts off. And we're pretty much naked. And I was like, oh my God, this monster of one of those guys who's just genetically, physically huge already. Had a tiny dick. And in my mind, I was like, yes. Yes. You want to just stand next to the bed the next time I get laid so my dick seems huge? Which, is why I married an Asian woman, because in their little hands, my dick looks huge.
God. Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
No, and I've seen other guys, the You're Not Wayne story with me.
Yes, of course.
I'll tell you that one off the air because I've told it so many
15 times on here.
He's a white guy with the biggest dick I've ever seen. So I just think it's a fucking crapshoot. One
thing I think does seem true, and maybe you can chime in if you want to, because you definitely have more experience, I assume, than me and Todd. Maybe not Frank, but it seems like skinny dudes do have enormous dicks. Like tall, skinny dudes have 23-inch dicks. It doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Fat dudes have little tiny sucked into their fucking gut.
Normal size, normal dick. But
I've heard.
Thoughts on skinny dicks or skinny guys with big dicks, Frank? You're up.
Yeah, you're a skinny guy. Whip it out.
Oh yeah, I'm packing. No, well, it's true. I don't know. I've heard. Every kind of explanation. Obviously, this topic gets discussed a lot, especially in podcasts. And I don't know. Some people seem to believe that a lot of it has to do with slavery. They would when they would, dark chapter in U.S. history. When they would sell slaves, they would always look to buy the strongest, the tallest ones, and then they would literally have them breed. And A lot of people
Frank's
believe
about
that
to
this
lose
is...
his job just like Jimmy the
but
Greek.
no, this I'm telling you.
Okay, Ari Shafir.
No, but that it's like you hear all of these, explanations.
Frankie
and
the
at
Greek.
But at the
You have to change your Twitter name to Frank
So,
the Greek.
so I'm buying all these blacks, right? And I'm trying to find these real big dick blacks for my fields. You know the way these fucking slaves can be, right? Busting my balls.
Go ahead, let him continue.
Well, anyways, but yeah, it's I think that it depends. I don't know if there's like a standard or a rule. It's just all genetics at the end of the day, I think. And some people, I'm sure that there's like I've heard girls talk about short little guys. They have like a baby arm.
Yeah,
So
I know a couple of those guys. Unfortunately, I am not one of them, but I do know guys that are my height that I'm like, fuck you, man. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, and I don't know why people obsess specifically about black men's penises. I'm sure that every race has well-endowed men. Just gotta look for them.
I don't think Asians do, though.
Yeah,
That one seems
they're
to be
all tiny.
I have a couple of Korean friends, and they've both said like that one really is true.
Why do you think their eyes are always squinting? Find their dick.
Forever.
Can I say that? I'm married to an Asian. I can say it, right?
You have a pass. I can't say it.
Do you think it has to do with a fashion thing? Like in fashion, they say black is like a slimming color. Wear a black T-shirt. Maybe black just makes it look bigger. Is it an optical illusion?
I feel like you're probably right. It seems to make a lot of sense. It's really a normal dick. What the fuck are we talking about?
This fucking person who I watched or listened to episode fucking 18 or whatever the hell it was got us on this tangent.
Wow. Oh my
All
God.
I know is that I don't have a big dick, and I'll tell you why. Because if I did, I would I would just have it out all the time. Like, hey guys, what's going on?
Top, please. I'm trying to eat spaghetti.
That's not my problem. Look at this dick. It's
Opening your
fucking
door
huge.
with it. Stirring people's drinks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll have the foot long and then some.
There you go.
All right, next question.
God. Okay.
Hey, this question's for both of you guys. Caddyshack or Fast Times?
That's a very torn question for me personally.
Man.
Caddyshack is funnier on the goofy level, whereas Fast Times is a cooler movie to me.
I would probably pick Fast Times.
Yeah, I would pick Fast Times too. Although Caddyshack is a
I would
classic.
Caddyshack. Just
I don't
'cause
love
Bill
either one
Murray.
of them.
I love them both.
I know.
Me too.
I like them both a lot, but as far as like 80s comedies, they're not in my top.
How old were you when they came out?
I was born in 79, so like 7, 8,
Yeah,
9.
I think when they came out and you saw them when they came out makes a difference in thinking that they're classic.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
I'm not saying that to be. I'm just dating myself of
Right.
being older than you. But I think I would go Fast Times. I don't know, but Caddyshack has so many quotable lines
So
too.
good.
It's so fucking good.
So
Your thoughts,
good.
Frank?
Fast Times. I've only seen Caddyshack a couple of times.
I've seen
but yeah,
Caddyshack
Fast Times.
thousands.
Me too.
Super fun.
Me too.
Heidi, favorite movie all time?
All time?
Yep.
Oh, good Lord. I have so many.
Moving with Richard Pryor.
I was going to say Funny Farm. There's movers in that.
True Romance, I think, would be
That's my favorite all time. That's my number one.
It's,
The best love story ever told.
I love that movie.
When you were mentioning your friend who has the kid Alabama, my
Yeah.
first thought was
Yeah. Oh,
Alabama
that's
Whirly.
right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's my
Love
number
that.
one. What else we got here?
Let's do one more and then wrap it up.
I was at
We have
Disneyland
a
this
lot.
past week, and I couldn't help but notice that Rocket Raccoon sounds a lot like Todd. Does anybody feel the same way?
I don't know what that is.
Rocket Raccoon is
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
the raccoon character
Right.
that sounds
Do
like.
we have a sound bite?
I got
It's,
some shit.
it's-
That one.
Why? So we could turn you into a frickin' chair?
Why? So we could turn you into a freaking chair? I can see why you would think
so we could
that.
turn you into a frickin' chair?
And that's it's Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper fucking stealing my act. Fuck him.
I don't totally hear it, but I can,
I could see why if you're not very smart. No, I'm just kidding. I can see why. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Leave
can
it
hear
at
it a
that.
little bit.
Let's power through some. We have a lot this week. I agree with Dan. Todd is a handsome man. In fact, the older he gets, the more handsome he gets. We should see his face too.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
You
can stop following me on Facebook and go to my Instagram and see a picture of me.
Tell
on there.
Todd to show his sexy ass on Instagram stories. Frank 2, LOL. Oh, he's allergic to compliments.
That's right.
There's a couple good ones in here.
Me and Frank should do one. We should dress up as motorcycles cops and go as Ponch and John.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Rare Form Radio with Ponch and John.
I'm down for that.
Question for you lads from Tanya. Any thoughts on Josh Klinghoffer getting fired from the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Personally, I think he's better off, but I'm biased. I hate the Chili Peppers. So do I. It sounds like he kind of got a raw deal.
That's what I'm hearing, but
that he was
no
somewhat,
authority.
He was somewhat blindsided.
Yes, that's what
Showed
I heard.
up at practice and was like,
yeah,
hey
he
guys.
was.
And they're kind of
what's
like,
the drummer of Aerosmith? Joey Kramer.
Brad
the
Wilk.
one that has
No, not Brad Wilk. Isn't it Brad something?
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Joey Kramer.
Yeah, Joey Kramer. He got Joey
From
Kramer.
Seinfeld?
Yes. That's Cosmo Kramer.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think it's a drag. But also, when you're in a band where there's like an iconic member who's still alive,
yeah,
always be waiting for him to come back.
It's like Jimmy Page got rid of Led Zeppelin, and then 10 years later, he's like, I'm coming back. And yeah.
Bye, everybody.
What I heard, and again, this is just hearsay, is exactly what you're talking about, is that he was just kind of blindsided in a shitty way instead of being given the opportunity to prepare for the inevitable return.
Like, he found out, and like within an hour, they had put a post up saying John Frusciante's back in the band.
Yeah.
No.
He hadn't even like
I didn't hear about
absorbed it.
this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently, again, all alleged, what I heard from some certain circles was it was all like in the works and lawyers and deals and how this is going to go about, and he just had no idea about it. And then once it was settled with everyone else knowing about it except for him, and then he was told. So
Wow.
That's a bad way to do it.
Dick move, yeah.
I was working for Jane's Addiction when Eric Avery came back to the band.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Dave is probably the guy that reached out to Chris Chaney. Said, hey, just letting you know, we're being honored with this award. We're going to have Eric come back and play with us. It might lead to more. Just want to give you a heads up that it's happening because you've been in the band for 5-6 years.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
Not like,
Dave he's got a lot of faults that we make fun of
But he's
in a funny way.
straightforward. Like,
he is the most straightforward, direct person. Like, this is what's going on. This is the truth. This is how it is. That I've probably, to a fault at times.
And I said before, he's the most right person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, it fucking makes me sick.
He's very rarely wrong.
Yeah.
Do any of you watch Bob's Burgers? If not, watch it. I don't.
My kids watch it, or they did. I don't know if they're kind of out of that phase.
I tried watching that thing.
What?
I tried watching it once,
Is it
but I
funny?
just couldn't get into it. It seems like it's the same guy doing all the voices or something. I don't know. It was a bizarre show. It was
Yeah, like
Adventure
the
Time. I
mom
tried
is like
watching that.
definitely a guy.
Right? Yeah,
She
I
talks
couldn't
like
get into
this, kind of. Yeah, that's it.
I watched it wanting to like it.
And then there's
but
a
no.
guy who hangs out in their burger joint, and he talks like this. So yeah, it might be the same fucking guy.
Yeah.
I
went to see Queen Kwong play.
I went to see Queen Kwong play.
We're going all the way back.
Yeah, that's fucking from the
10 years ago.
annals. Yeah, I tried to find it funny with my kids, and I was just like, you guys want to watch Family Guy?
I love that show.
Yeah, Family Guy is.
I just started to watch it.
You don't really need to watch another
I'm
cartoon.
just started?
I'm just a little late.
It's
to the
like
game.
been on for 25
It's
years.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
have
It's
you
the
guys heard
fucking
of-
best written show on television.
God.
Have you guys heard of this show, Cheers? Oh my God.
No,
It's
that
incredible.
sounds good.
Let's end on something we've been dancing around for a couple weeks.
All right.
Care to comment on the Oliver Peck thing?
All right.
Love you guys, even when you make me laugh inappropriately on the bus. Okay. So Oliver, who's a
The
friend
short
of ours,
bus?
yes. Oliver has.
Aren't all
left.
those laughs inappropriate?
Good.
Go ahead.
No.
You and begin.
Oliver, who's a friend of ours,
Yes.
is no longer on Ink Master.
Right.
Because he, many years ago, posted pictures of himself on MySpace dressed up as a black basketball player with like black body paint. I'm not going to say blackface because I don't think it was. I don't think of it as blackface.
I don't think of it as blackface either. I get.
Curious to get your guys'
about
opinions.
this.
Do you know who Oliver is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so on MySpace many years ago,
MySpace.
I think he went as like Magic Johnson or somebody. He was a Lakers jersey.
For Halloween.
Yes, full brown body paint.
Yeah, it was done in a different climate. It was probably in poor taste. It's definitely in poor taste now, like just the way things are. Like you got to know that that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. But I'll say this. I know the guy personally. I never saw anything like that or any kind of, there's a lot of racist things being thrown around and this and that and blah, blah, blah. A lot of surmising about what goes on behind closed doors and shit like that. I've hung out with him a lot. He stayed at my house. I never saw any of that kind of behavior. In fact, quite to the contrary, he's, I feel bad because it's changed his schematics probably forever. He's like, oh, well, I did it. Like, he's like not saying, well, I didn't mean that. You know what I mean? He gets that it was in poor taste now. And he was a kid then. This is many years ago that those pictures were taken, too.
It's like
it wasn't
Kevin
like.
Hart with the stuff.
Yeah. It's like that.
And I love that he refused to apologize. Or he refused a bunch of times that I'm done apologizing.
Yeah,
I said it. I'm not gonna,
because he did a lot.
Yeah. And so how do I feel about it? I get it. And I see the insensitivity. And I would never do something like that. And, not expect that bad was going to come of it. But on the other hand, I am friends with the guy. I never saw that kind of rhetoric from him. Mm-hmm. And not even in a joking way, really, now that I really think about it. Like, a passe, like, this is harmless. Let's just make fun of a bunch of people. I never saw that in him. So I'm heartbroken for him in that sense. And I feel like as far as the show goes, and I don't know what the schematics are of if he bowed out, if he was let go. I don't know any of that. I do, but I'm not going to say. But it just sucks that it came to that because he's a vital part of that show. So it's not going to be the same.
I have a tough time. The same reason I wouldn't say blackface. To me, blackface is like traditional
with
blackface. The red lips, the big white eyes.
Jolson sort of.
Right, which is obviously like making fun of stereotypes. Yep. And it's meant to embarrass or to put down. But
yeah, that's what it was rooted for.
Right,
it was rooted in slavery, blackface.
I really want, and please tell me if I'm off base, but like, if you want to go on Halloween as a black person, what is wrong with putting black? Like, if I'm going as the Hulk, I'm going to paint myself green. Right. If I want to be Sidney Poitier for Halloween,
right. But there was also different factors with what the pictures with him.
But blackface in general now. Like Jimmy Kimmel had a bit on his show for years where he was Karl Malone, the basketball player, and he did the voice impression, full like body paint, and people are like, he shouldn't have done that. Why?
Yeah, I agree with you on that point.
You're not putting someone down. Like if anything, if you're
paying homage in a way,
yeah, of course. And even if you're doing it, if you want to play stabby OJ and you want to like be OJ with a knife and you do black body paint, you're not making fun of his race. You're imitating a person. So for a costume, it's so much different than wearing blackface and trying to hurt people's feelings. People need to find a different... It's like the Ari Shaffir jokes.
Right.
There's a difference between being genuinely funny and trying to hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah.
So the blackface discussion has to... I feel like needs to be changed a little bit.
Well, there was the Disney thing, right? You texted me that about the Disney pulling the
Moana costume on Amazon. So Moana, the Disney cartoon about the Hawaiian or the Polynesian.
Yeah.
So there's a costume for kids. It's like
the character that The Rock plays. I forget the name of it, but he's supposed to be a demigod.
Right.
That can shapeshift and do all kinds of shit,
dark
right?
skin, long hair, full
tattoos.
Maori type tattoos.
Yeah.
And Amazon pulled the costume because it's cultural appropriation of Polynesian people.
Yeah, and people complain. That's why. And people should just shut their fucking mouths. But
what the fuck are we doing?
Here's the difference.
This is why we're going to lose the next election.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
Because we're such fucking pussies.
Blackface was rooted in slavery as a derogatory thing.
Yes.
And it is offensive. It was meant to be, it was spawned to be offensive, okay? Implying unintelligence, and voracious appetites for uncontrollable for things, that are stereotypical. The costume is, I want to dress up as the god that The Rock voices. So it happens to be a Hawaiian guy.
My
like, what the fuck?
4-year-old is not thinking about what it means. Just like it's just a costume.
Yeah, and in the Hawaiian culture, yes, they've had their problems with the white man too. Believe me, I have a lot of friends who are locals, who were born and raised, who are straight up Hawaiian.
Yep.
And believe me, I don't think any one of them. I wish I could call one of them right now, but I don't think any one of them would ever say, like, that's fucking offensive to us that a white kid in fucking South Dakota is wearing the Moana, the god guy. Like, I want to dress up as the god.
Yeah.
Like,
we're about 2 weeks away from not even be able to dress as the opposite sex for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be Demi Moore or whatever ever again.
Yeah. And it's a shame because you look so much like her.
Her from G.I. Jane? Man. So
yeah,
good.
it's crazy. But again, in fairness, too, his went to a different place in certain, because there was a few photos and there was some questionable stuff on there. I also know the explanation of that, but that's not my story to tell. That's for him.
But one of them is a tough one to talk yourself
You're
out of.
way out of, yeah. And, like, I get it.
It also reminds me of, like, the reason why Dave Chappelle went to Africa, because apparently the moment...
All the big dicks.
Right? The moment, like, for him was when, I believe it was that last season of the Chappelle Show, and Dave Chappelle was in blackface, and there was a skit where he was playing this character in blackface. Yeah. And he says that he was going on about the skit and, cut, and he said that there was, like, this white guy, he was laughing.
Yeah, I know
and
this
he was
story,
like, but he wasn't, like, laughing at the joke. Like, it was like that other type of laugh. And he said that was the moment that he realized they're not getting it, this is wrong, and I'm out. And I think that that's what we need to remember, that there's a lot of people out there that don't, they don't see the humor in it. They see the wrong humor in things.
And it intensifies their shittiness,
right.
When they see. So it's a fine line.
Of course.
It's a line that should be drawn for sure. But again, this is one of those cases where, like, I see something happen to some politician or some celebrity that I don't know personally, and they get their fucking everything taken away from them, and they're just outcast. And then there's a guy who, that's not necessarily happening, but his life has changed, and I know him personally, and I know where it came from. And I feel bad for everyone involved, not just him, but people who were offended by it, because it could be offensive, of course. So it's a tough call.
I was about to say something. How do you go back on MySpace and see things? Is it still up?
It's still up.
Can you still go back? Oh.
Yep.
Tom from MySpace is in blackface.
Dude, we have to start a rare form on MySpace.
just for the hell of it. Let's see if we can stream live from MySpace.
Oh, it'd be so good. You can find us on MySpace.
God, MySpace, they must be, because it was the thing.
I used to love it. You
remember
got
Friendster
put a song.
before that?
I never was.
I remember.
Friendster. Yeah, the song was.
I
great.
was in Canada or something. I think I was with Dave. He was playing some show there. And this girl said to me, we were hanging out with a bunch of people, and this girl said to me, "Are you on Facebook?" I was like, "What the fuck is Facebook?" I honestly did not know what Facebook was, and she's like, "You don't know Facebook?" And I was like, "No, I do my." She told me what it was. I was like, "Oh, I do the same thing, but I'm on MySpace." And this is when we were doing Spread TV.
She's like, "Okay, Grandpa."
Yeah, she's like, "Okay, boomer." But I had no idea what it was, and she's like, "MySpace is on its way out, and this Facebook, I'm telling you, this is the thing." And I'm like, "You stupid Canadian fucking moron! MySpace is way better." I was saying that in my head,
Of course.
and say it to her,
Right.
But and sure enough, like MySpace is just obsolete, and Facebook
You had like
is
the top friends.
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that?
Not only that,
Top 8 or something.
Not
And
only
it
that,
was important.
MySpace not only just went to the wayside, but Facebook changed the world literally. Like I was never more wrong about anything in my life.
MySpace was Skid Row, and Facebook was Nirvana. Just like ended.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, just 50 more questions.
Okay. Do one more because I'm running out of gas.
Okay. First of all, I absolutely love your podcast. Thank you, Donna. I find you guys hilarious and entertaining. I love the episode of hearing Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell's raw tracks, the vocal-only tracks. Is there an app that I can find to hear these artists like the one you played? Yeah, it's called YouTube. Just literally go on YouTube and look up Queen or Metallica or any band that you want and put
Isolated track.
vocals only, isolated vocals, or a cappella, and you'll find the coolest fucking shit.
You will be on there for fucking 8 days looking at cool shit.
You want to get blown away, listen to Michael Jackson doing Billie Jean, just the vocals, it'll give you goosebumps. It's unbelievable. He was so fucking good.
Also, I nerd out on just listening to Jimi Hendrix, just the guitar track, like not the band.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's very good too if you're like starting to play guitar or bass or drums. You can find just like isolated tracks of that stuff that can help you learn parts.
I look at my son too because he's like really in there playing guitar every day now. And I'm like, "You're so lucky." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You can YouTube any tutorial on any song." I'm like, they just didn't have that shit when I was a kid.
Killed
Yeah,
for
you
that
had to
as
go
a
to the
kid.
music store and buy
Buy the goddamn book.
I'm hoping that it brings music back now with a generation that's creating their own music because they're able to learn everything.
Did you see that little girl?
It might pump life into the music industry again.
Probably. Did you see the little girl playing Queens of the Stone Age? No One Knows on drums.
On drums, yeah, I saw it.
No.
Yeah.
I'll show you when we're done here.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, there's another girl, Sangi something. She's a Japanese girl, and it's just her playing. It's not playing a song, and she's one of the most phenomenal drummers you've ever seen. I've been like running to my daughter, like, "Check this out," like.
Makes me wonder.
You're half Asian. Why can't you do this?
It makes me wonder if kids have always had this ability in them, but no way to learn it or shape it.
Well, it took that obsession for a child. Like, I don't care about friends or girl or whatever. Like, I'm doing this, and no one is gonna stop me. Luke and I were watching that Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage documentary, and there's footage of Alex Lifeson in high school telling his parents at the whole dinner table with his whole family that he's going to drop out of high school. He's like, "I'm just doing this." And they're like, "You need something to fall back on," and all the old arguments. And he's like, "No, I'm doing this." And like, he was right.
Yeah.
And he was that obsessed. And you don't even need that obsession anymore. You just need the desire. It doesn't need to be a crazy obsession now.
Yep.
So
how's Luca doing with that pedal board?
Oh, he loves it.
I notice no videos about the pedal board. Tons of stuff on the guitar that Uncle Dave did. Nothing about the pedal board that Uncle Dan built from scratch.
Well, we'll do it right now. So Dave gave Luca as a gift the pedal board that he used with Red Hot Chili Peppers and with Jane's Addiction. It was cute because Dave sent me a bunch of pictures like, "Dude, this is the board on me on stage with the fucking Chili Peppers." So it's this massive board, and David bought a bunch of pedals, and Dan, I guess that's Luca's birthday present from you. We'll label it as that.
It was just because I wanted to do it.
You just wanted to do it, and you were very excited to do it, and it was fun to see. And Dan took the board and took all the pedals. I dropped them off, and he created and built this whole board where Luca can literally pick up the whole board and plug it in, take it to go, and it's big. But he perfectly, expertly, all the pedals are in exact order, and built this whole thing out for Luca, and he's loving it. And I will take a picture and post it and give you the credit where the credit is due.
I saw that it was missing in that one picture you posted. I'm like, I thought there was some.
That's a small room.
Check out these strings that Uncle Dave got him. Look at this folded up napkin that Uncle Dave got, cleaned his mouth with and gave it to Luca. Fuck Dan, the guy that actually put work. Dave took him to a store and put his card down. I built it.
That's right, you did. I will not make a joke about that. I will not deny you that you built that whole thing.
I'm surprised Dave even went. I'm surprised I didn't just give him his credit card and be like, take an Uber.
Just take him. Yeah.
Go get whatever you want. Love you, kid.
I'll send the Uber from my phone. Yeah.
Uber Black even.
But
No,
yeah,
it was
so
fun.
now
I'm happy he's liking
he's
it.
got the whole setup, and he's got like, even Dave was like, he's got a better setup than I do. Like, even my board didn't look that good. When I showed it to him, you know, I was FaceTime with him, and I was like, and look, Dan put Luca's name on the board, and, you know,
handmade for Luca Newman.
Handmade for Luca Newman and all that. Aww. And he's like, dude, he didn't fucking build my boards like that. Like, what the fuck? He was jealous. You made him jealous.
Because I like Luca.
That's right. That's right. So we'll see what he can come up with in the next few years of creating.
No, it's very exciting. All right.
That's it.
Heidi, thank you very much for coming back.
Thank you.
I'm glad I
Such a
could.
pleasure. You are welcome anytime.
What are you doing next week?
Nothing. I'm probably moving.
Probably.
But I'm bummed.
Getting a
Bring it back.
little horny. Thank you, Todd Newman.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, guys.
And we will see everybody or talk to everybody next week.
This is Lola, and I'm here to tell the world to stop being such pussies and listen to Rare Form Radio.
You guys.